Archangel Michael says. You have seen it. That same unfamiliar car, there, again, at the edge of your street. At first, you thought nothing of it. People park. People pass through. People come and go. But this one lingers. It's there not once, but night after night. Always around the same time. Always in the same spot, as if the space has been marked just for them. The windows are dark, too dark to see through. Sometimes the engine hums softly as if they might be ready to drive off at the slightest movement. Other times, the car sits in eerie stillness, silent but watchful. And yet, no one steps out. There's no knocking on doors. No greeting of neighbors. No delivery packages. No urgent phone calls made outside the car. They are not here to see anyone, at least, not openly. You can feel it in your spirit. This is not casual. This is not chance. This is not coincidence. Type Amen 767 to get blessings. Even before you asked, heaven was already watching with you. I, Michael, have been stationed near you, unseen, but present, and I tell you this. This is not random. This is deliberate. Archangel Michael says. For what you have been given, the calling, the favor, the inheritance of light, there are those who seek to know your movements, your patterns, your vulnerabilities. They think by parking in shadow, they can remain hidden. But nothing is hidden from heaven. This car, this person, this repeated arrival, it is not merely a neighbor's guest or a driver resting. It is the beginning of something intended to unsettle you, to study you, to gather information without ever stepping close enough to be confronted. There is a reason they come at the same hour. There is a reason they choose that particular spot. There is a reason their gaze is fixed toward where you dwell. It is meant to feel subtle so you dismiss it. It is meant to feel harmless so you let your guard down. But you are not meant to ignore this. The presence of this stranger is a sign. A sign that something is moving in the unseen, a conversation about you has already taken place elsewhere. Your name has been spoken in rooms you have not entered. And now, you are being watched. Do not fear. What the enemy plots in shadow, heaven exposes in light. I will not allow this silent presence to remain hidden for long. Already, patterns are forming that will lead to their revelation. Be alert. Watch without paranoia, but with spiritual awareness. Heaven is aligning the moment when the mask will drop and the reason will be revealed. Type Amen 567 to get blessings. This is not just someone parking near your home. This is the first visible thread in a much larger design, and it is about to unravel. You cannot see their eyes, but they can see you. From behind the dark tint of their window, they sit. Still. Silent. Watching. Archangel Michael says. They never step out. They never wave. They never greet. And yet, they are close enough to notice when you leave, when you return, when lights in your home go on or off. This is not the curiosity of a passerby. This is targeted observation. Heaven has shown me what hides behind that glass. It is not simply a person with idle time. This is someone who has been instructed to be here. They are following an assignment, one they have agreed to, whether knowingly or under the influence of another. What they are doing is subtle, but intentional. It is the quiet gathering of information. The silent recording of patterns. The memorizing of movements. And while their face remains hidden to you, it is fully visible to me. I see the sharpness in their gaze. I see the way they adjust their posture whenever you step outside. I see the way they tilt their head slightly, listening, as if hoping to overhear fragments of conversations carried by the wind. Type Amen 758 to get blessings. Do you understand? The enemy has no need to break into your home when they can simply watch and wait. A single person, stationed near your dwelling each evening, can map out your life without ever crossing your doorstep. But here is the truth they don't want you to know. This stranger is not acting alone. Behind them stands another presence, a person who sent them. Someone who either fears what you might do or desires to interfere with what heaven is doing in you. They think that by staying behind glass, they can remain unseen. But even the glass cannot hide them from divine sight. This is why I tell you. Do not be lulled into thinking this is harmless. The enemy often disguises his agents in normal routines, so you won't take notice until it's too late. You are not imagining it. The same car. The same hour. The same invisible thread of attention fixed upon you. They are waiting for a signal. Perhaps a message from the one who sent them. Perhaps an opportunity they believe will present itself. But heaven says no. Heaven says their time of hiding is short. Type Amen 495 to get blessings. I am already dismantling the secrecy around their purpose. Soon, you will either see their face clearly or overhear something that confirms their intent. When that moment comes, you will not feel fear, you will feel the strength of heaven surge through you, for this is not a moment meant to break you, but to awaken you. Archangel Michael says, they believe they are watching you. But they do not realize. They are the ones under divine surveillance. And I am watching more closely than they ever could. You have wondered who they are. You have wondered if they are a stranger at all, or someone you have crossed paths with before. Your spirit senses something familiar, though your eyes have not confirmed it. This is because, in the unseen realm, their presence already carries the echo of past shadows. I, Michael, have asked heaven to grant you clarity. And heaven has begun to answer. In a vision, whether it comes through a dream, a sudden mental picture, or a whisper in your spirit, you will begin to see their outline more clearly. Type Amen 594 to get blessings. At first, it will be small things. The shape of their jaw. The way their hair catches the light. A gesture they make when they adjust in the driver's seat. These will spark a recognition within you. Not yet a full name, but enough to stir an uneasy truth. This person is not random. They are connected. And their connection leads back to someone else. This is the part you must understand, they are not acting on their own curiosity. They have been sent. And the one who sent them is not a stranger to you. This link may stretch to your past, to an old disagreement, a severed relationship, a financial dispute, or a truth someone once feared you would speak. Or it may be connected to your present, a situation unfolding now that others wish to know more about before you are ready to reveal it. In either case, the stranger's role is simple, to watch, to wait, and to report. I see the face of the one behind this. I will not yet tell you all, because heaven wants you to witness their exposure with your own eyes. But know this, they carry resentment, fear, and a misguided belief that by controlling information about you, they can control your destiny. What they do not understand is that your destiny is sealed in heaven, not in the whispers of men. Type Amen 192 to get blessings. Archangel Michael says, when you see the true face, whether in person or through a divine reveal, it will confirm suspicions you may have pushed aside. You will realize that certain recent conversations, glances, or strange coincidences were not random at all. And here is the victory. When the mask falls, you will not simply see the stranger as they are, you will see the spirit behind their mission. And in that moment, the power it has over you will break. The enemy thrives in secrecy. The moment they are named, they are weakened. Heaven has not allowed them to remain fully hidden for a reason. Their exposure is necessary for your next step. Stay watchful. Stay prayerful. When you see their face, you will also see God's hand, because this is not merely about knowing who they are. This is about understanding why they came, and what heaven will do next. You may think this is about one car, one stranger, one person sitting quietly in the shadows. But the truth is far more intricate. What you are seeing is only the tip of the thread. Pull on it, and the entire web will begin to unravel. The stranger parked near your home is not an isolated observer. They are part of a chain. A network. A silent arrangement where each participant plays their role without revealing the full picture to the others. The one who sits in that car has likely been told very little, perhaps only where to be, when to be there, and what to notice. They may not even fully understand the larger plan themselves. But the instructions they carry are part of something carefully designed. Type Amen 099 to get blessings. I see the web clearly. It stretches beyond your street, beyond your neighborhood. It reaches into conversations in offices, whispered phone calls in the night, and secret exchanges of information between people you would never think to connect. Archangel Michael says, the purpose is not just to watch you. It is to map out your movements so that, when the moment comes, they can act swiftly, whether that means approaching you unexpectedly, intercepting something meant for you, or attempting to manipulate circumstances to their advantage. But here is what they did not calculate. When you belong to heaven, any plot formed against you becomes subject to divine interruption. Every step they take toward you also brings them under heaven's spotlight. This is why you have begun to notice small things. A neighbor looking at you differently. A name mentioned casually in conversation that you haven't heard in years. An unusual phone call that seemed like a mistake, but left you unsettled. These are not coincidences. These are signs that the web is tightening, that different strands of this plot are beginning to touch your world. I tell you this so you will not fear, but so you will discern. Because the moment is coming when the stranger's presence will no longer be enough, they will have to act, and in doing so, they will reveal more than they intended. Type Amen 905 to get blessings. And when they do, the thread will snap. The ones who sent them will be pulled into the light with them. You see, the enemy counts on secrecy, but heaven counts on exposure. The very act of watching you night after night has already sealed their fate, because what is repeated leaves a trail, and what leaves a trail can be traced. I am preparing to pull that thread for you. When it begins to unravel, you will understand just how many hands were involved. You will see how the presence of one quiet car on your street was never random, it was the visible sign of an invisible network. And heaven is about to dismantle it piece by piece. Every time that car pulls up, something is happening in both the natural and the spiritual realm. To the human eye, it looks like someone is simply parking. But to the unseen realm, it is a signal. The enemy uses repeated acts to stake a claim, to send an unspoken message: I am here. I am watching. I will not leave. It is not just physical proximity. It is a psychological and spiritual tactic meant to unsettle the ground beneath you. But what they do not realize is this: every signal they send is also being intercepted by heaven. Every attempt to mark their presence becomes another entry in heaven's record, another piece of evidence in the case that will be brought against them. The act of coming at the same time each evening is not accidental. In the spirit, it creates a rhythm, a pattern. Patterns have power. They can open doors, strengthen claims, or reinforce intentions. This is why I, Michael, have been dispatched, to ensure their rhythm is broken before it can take root in your territory. Archangel Michael says, you must understand. In the spiritual realm, space carries meaning. Where a person stands, where they sit, where they linger, it matters. The enemy tries to position themselves close enough to your dwelling so that their spirit's intent can reach toward you. Type Amen 594 to get blessings. That is why I am telling you now, mark your territory. Do not allow the enemy to stake a spiritual flag near your home. Speak words of authority over the ground around you. Declare that every inch within your sight is claimed for the kingdom of light and is off limits to any unclean intention. This is not about paranoia. This is about dominion. The enemy wants you to believe you are being passively observed, but in truth, they are attempting to establish a presence, and presence is power. That is why they return night after night, even if they do nothing outwardly aggressive. But here is what will break it. You turning your awareness into action. You responding not with fear, but with spiritual force. Stand at your window or your doorway and speak light into the darkness. Pray not only for protection, but for exposure. Command that whatever is hidden be revealed, and that the ones sitting there feel the weight of heaven's gaze upon them until they can no longer remain. Remember, intimidation only works when the target feels powerless. But when the target is clothed in heaven's authority, the intimidator becomes the one who feels watched. That is what I am already doing. Even now, as they sit behind glass, I am making sure they sense a presence stronger than their own. They think they are the watcher. But they are about to discover they are the one being watched, by the armies of the living God. Type Amen 495 to get blessings. Archangel Michael says, there is only so long a mask can be worn before it slips. The stranger who has been parking near your home has maintained their silence, their stillness, their calculated presence, but heaven tells me this cannot continue much longer. They are about to make a mistake. It will not be a grand event at first. It will be something small, almost forgettable, but it will be the moment that cracks their cover. They might drop something on the ground while adjusting in their car. They might be forced to step out briefly and reveal their face. They might receive a phone call, their voice carrying enough for you to hear a name, a location, or a sentence that betrays their intent. You will recognize the mistake instantly, because heaven will give you sudden clarity when it happens. You will feel it deep within your spirit, that was not random. That was the truth slipping out. And here is why this moment is so important: it will connect dots you didn't even know existed. You will begin to realize that this presence has ties to other strange events you've noticed in recent weeks. That overheard conversation at the store. That unexpected message from someone you haven't spoken to in years. That uneasy feeling you had when your name was mentioned in passing. They are not separate incidents, they are part of one unfolding plan. But when this mistake happens, it will shift the balance. The stranger's sense of control will weaken. They will know they have been noticed, and that is the very thing they were trying to avoid. Do not fear this moment. Instead, mark it. Write it down. Record the details, the time, the day, the exact thing you saw or heard. For this will be the moment when the spiritual becomes undeniable in the natural. I, Michael, have been waiting for this slip. It is the moment when the enemy's secrecy begins to unravel in your favor. The exposure will not stop at the stranger, it will ripple outward to touch the one who sent them, and possibly others connected to this chain. This is why you must remain alert, not anxious. Because when it happens, you will not have to scramble to understand it, heaven will drop the interpretation into your spirit instantly. You will see the connection clearly. Type Amen 679 to get blessings. And here is the promise, once the moment comes, the stranger's visits will no longer feel the same. They will know the invisible cover they hid under is gone. Every time they return, they will feel the heat of exposure. The day is coming when the watching eyes behind that glass will blink, and in that blink, everything will change. The enemy wants you to feel small. They want you to believe that you are nothing more than the watched, the observed, the one on the defensive. But heaven says otherwise. Archangel Michael says, "You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of this situation. And you are not a passive character in this story, you are the divinely chosen one the enemy fears." Understand this, intimidation is a strategy designed to make you forget who you are. When someone watches you without speaking, without moving, they are attempting to project dominance. They want your mind to fill in the blanks with fear. But you, child of the Most High, carry something far more powerful, authority. Type Amen 578 to get blessings. Authority is not about shouting or forcing. It is about knowing your identity so deeply that your very presence shifts the atmosphere. When I, Michael, stand by you, no human agent or spiritual assignment can trespass without consequence. That is why the stranger has not stepped onto your property, they cannot cross into ground that has been claimed and guarded by heaven's command. But now, it's time to go beyond being guarded. It's time to go on the offensive. You can do this in both the natural and spiritual realms. 1. Declare ownership of your space. Every time you step outside your door, speak over the land you stand on. Tell the atmosphere that it belongs to light, that darkness has no claim, that no observer can change your appointed path. 2. Disrupt their rhythm. If the stranger expects you to ignore them, break that expectation. You don't have to confront directly, but you can shift your routine, change your timings, make their observation less predictable. Confusion weakens the one who watches. 3. Cover yourself in prayer daily. This is not about fear, it's about fortifying your shield. When you clothe yourself in light each morning, their spiritual assignment becomes ineffective. Remember, this is not about reacting in panic. This is about acting in purpose. The enemy has already been put on notice, because the moment you became aware, the power dynamic shifted. When watchers are watched, they lose confidence. And you are not watching them alone, heaven's armies are watching with you. You are not here to be a victim of someone's shadow game. You are here to stand as proof that no assignment formed against God's chosen will prosper. So lift your head. Strengthen your stance. Let your spirit declare, even without words, I see you. And heaven sees you too. From this moment forward, their presence is not a threat, it is a countdown. A countdown to their exposure. A countdown to your vindication. Type Amen 189 to get blessings. You are not helpless. You are the one heaven has fortified for this exact moment. Archangel Michael says, the day comes quietly. There is no dramatic thunder in the sky, no earthquake beneath your feet, but in the spirit, the ground shifts. The stranger arrives as they always have. Same car. Same spot. Same hour. But this time, there is something different. Perhaps they linger too long after you step outside. Perhaps they forget to hide their face when sunlight catches their window. Or perhaps someone else arrives, someone who walks directly to them, thinking they are unseen. It is in that moment that the truth begins to unfold. The connection is revealed. They are not a random passerby. They are tied to someone who has been trying to get close to you without being seen. It could be a former acquaintance carrying a grudge. A family member seeking information. A rival wanting leverage. Or even someone hired to observe and report for another's gain. The real reason is not innocent. It is calculated. They were here to measure your movements, to track patterns, to look for openings. Type Amen 789 to get blessings. But instead of gathering what they came for, they walked directly into heaven's trap. Every night they came, they believed they were unnoticed. Every night, they thought the silence worked in their favor. But all along, I was here. Watching them as they watched you. Recording every action. Marking every detail. And now, the evidence is complete. What they intended for secrecy has become a testimony against them. The very pattern they thought would conceal them is the pattern that exposes them. In the natural, you will begin to see confirmation, maybe through a neighbor who mentions noticing them too, maybe through a slip of their name, maybe through a direct encounter where their face and purpose are undeniable. In the spiritual, their cover has been ripped away. They can no longer operate undetected because their identity has been placed before heaven's court. And here is the divine twist, the moment of exposure is not just about revealing them. It is about revealing what has been working behind them. The one who sent them. The one who whispered instructions. The one who thought you could be quietly watched, studied, or undermined without consequence. This is why I say, the stranger's role is ending. Their assignment is finished, not because they completed it, but because heaven has shut it down. From this day forward, every step they take will feel heavy, because they walk under the weight of exposure. Every time they think of you, they will remember the feeling of being seen, not by your eyes alone, but by the eyes of heaven. Type Amen 976 to get blessings. Archangel Michael says, the unmasking is complete. The game is over. And the next move belongs to you, to walk forward knowing you are protected, seen, and unstoppable. What they tried to hide has been brought into the light. What they hoped to control has been placed back in your hands. You were never alone in this. And you never will be.